Hey guys, or should I say ladies, it is Feminist Friday. So if you watched church on Sunday, I alluded to the idea of the power dynamic. So what I talked about in church on Sunday was toiling and learning to come into every situation as your full self. Full, as in a spirit of abundance instead of a spirit of lack, right? So when we talk about power dynamics, I really believe that the source of a power dynamic is either maybe even how it's set up to a certain extent, because there are some systems that need to be reworked. But I believe that if we come into any situation full, without feeling like we need something from someone that is going to give us what we, give us something that we need, right? So if you are in the music industry, you're gonna meet producers, managers, people who have names and who have worked with names and have like a track record of success. And there is going to be a potential power dynamic issue there. Because you think, if I screw this up, if I say something they don't like, if I do this or that, I might lose this relationship, and there goes my pathway to success. That's the problem in music and even in Hollywood when they talk about, Harvey Weinstein and all this stuff, is that in order for an actor or a musician to get from, look how great I am live, look at these great songs, to being on the radio, doing gigs for, all these people and having some kind of international exposure, there are certain people who need to have contributed their skills, their connections, in order for you to get there, right? That's the thing. And so those people, it's very easy for them to become abusive with their power and for them to create a situation where you feel like they're your only hope to get where you want to go. So they may say, okay, I need this much money from you, and then I'm gonna make you a star, and then totally fuck off as soon as the money's gone. They may say things to you and touch you in ways that make you feel disgusting. But you feel like, if I say anything, he's gonna get pissed off, maybe he won't work with me. That's really hard. That's really hard. I have been there for sure. I worked with a guy when I lived in Nashville who made me uncomfortable all the time. I thought he was obnoxious. I thought he was pushy, and he ate like a freaking pig, and it was disgusting. And I've got that misophonia thing, so the whole time he was eating, I was like, I hate you, I hate you, I hate you. Anyway, and I never said anything. Like, I would allude to it a little bit and be like, ooh, you're from Detroit, right? Didn't give Detroit a great name. So anyway, he was very smarmy, but I never said anything. And we made this music, some of which is great, and I have let it go. I have buried it. I have two situations like that where we've made some music that's great. I mean, the first one, I didn't know how to be myself in the writing room yet, and so it's music that like older people that aren't me like. I don't really like it, but it's good music. But I'm willing to let it go because now I'm like, ooh, I don't want to be married to these people forever with our baby, or our music babies, right? I don't want to sit next to these people at the Grammys or whatever, right? But if I had just stood my ground and had the voice, and the feeling of being enough in that moment, to feel safe enough in myself that no matter what happens, I'm fine because I own my giftings. And if this isn't the right situation because you're gonna be this way, then I'll find somebody else who's super into what I'm doing, because I know that what I have is valuable and of worth, right? That's what it is. These power dynamics, I believe, sometimes come down to our knowledge that if it's not this situation, it will be something else, right? But we believe, if I fuck this up, I'm done, right? This is the be all and end all, this is it. This person has the power to make or break me. And with Harvey Weinstein, that might have been absolutely true, right? So I'm not judging anyone for their past choices to do something that was gross to them, that made them feel terrible in order to appease a person that has power, right? I understand that. I have been there. But what I'm saying is, when we go into these situations, whether it's meeting someone for the first time, whatever, we need to go into the situation totally full. So whatever that means, if there is a meditation that you can start practicing where you think and you tell yourself, I don't need anything from anybody. I have something beautiful to give. I am full. That when you go into these situations, you're gonna come in with an energy that is not desperate, where you're not showing a sense of lack, because that is what a predator will read and go, ah, I see you, I see your desperation, and can absolutely weaponize against you. So can you get to the place where you're meeting with a new producer, you're meeting with a new, director, you're meeting with someone who has the capacity to take you to the next level, right? And you go in knowing that the universe is kind, the universe has a plan, and that this may not be the thing, but something will. If you don't have any spiritual bearing, this is going to be really hard for you, right? If you have no belief that there is a higher power, that there is a God, lady or a man God, that there is, this universal intelligence, it's going to be very hard for you to believe that it's not just us humans hanging out together making things happen, right? But if you believe that the universe is kind and that you have been given these gifts for a reason, I don't believe there is very much you can do to screw that up. I think that if this situation isn't right, the lesson you're being taught is, can you come in and have your no be no? And when those hairs raise up on the back of your neck, and when you think this isn't right, you peace out. You say, no, thanks, I'm gonna go, and you go. Because the bottom line is, these power dynamics happen because we have a spirit of lack. These predators are horrible. I'm not taking the blame from them. I'm not blaming the victim. But what I'm saying is, now that we see them, I see you, you piece of shit, I see you, right? And I see that this power dynamic happens when we have a spirit of lack and we allow things to happen. We allow things to go to a place where we knew 5 steps ago that this wasn't cool. And if we had a spirit of sufficiency, and we knew this is gonna be okay, I am gonna be okay because I have something worthwhile and beautiful to give. And I don't need you in order to fulfill my purpose, right? If we believed that as soon as the predator acted like a piece of shit, we could go, no, and we could leave, right? Because they are gonna do what they're gonna do because they are injured, damaged people, right? So yes, they are absolutely to blame, right? I am not saying anybody who does any of these, Matt Lauer or Harvey Weinstein or, there's so many of them, right? But now I'm going, okay, how do we preempt that? How do we go, oh, I see you. And before they are able to act, we go now. Because we know we're okay. Because that power dynamic doesn't have a chance to come to fruition because we go, no, we need to trust our intuition, ladies. We are so much more advanced in this way than dudes are. Most dudes, okay. We are so gifted with this intuition. We know when something is funky, right? We know, but we don't trust ourselves enough. We don't trust ourselves in the future that something else is gonna come. And so instead of in that moment when we feel the icks, and we should be like, yeah, can we talk about something? This isn't really cool, Or go like, I'm gonna take myself out of the situation and give this some thought, and reevaluate. We don't trust ourselves. Or we think it's just gonna be uncomfortable for a bit and then it'll get better and there will be rewards for this feeling of being uncomfortable. But it always seems that the reward is not nearly good enough for the shit that we have to deal with in that situation. So, trust that you have something beautiful and unique to give, And that, if that is your purpose, if that is what is gonna fulfill you and grow you and make you into the person that you're supposed to be, there is no predator saying no to you and getting pissed off at you that is gonna change that outcome. So it is better in this moment to trust your gut and say no and walk out. That's friggin' hard to do, right? It's hard enough to do when you're on a date with a guy who wants to kiss you and you don't want to kiss him, but you don't want to piss him off. So you kiss him. And, right? We've all been there. Ew. But we've all been there. Where we think, okay, this is gonna be, I'll make out with him a bit and then, I don't want to piss him off. And some of that is, he's 6'5". I'm not, right? It's complicated. Be patient with yourself, but trust yourself enough to know if it is in a situation that is professional, especially, or in a friendship situation, whatever the situation is where you feel like there's a power dynamic developing, trust yourself and the universe enough to know that if you speak your truth, if you know that you are full and lacking nothing, that the future holds blessing, the future holds flourishing, no matter what, even if you say no, even if you hold your ground. It's so hard to do. So let's be patient with ourselves. We are amongst the first generations of women who are in this position and are saying no. So let's be patient with ourselves because we are paving a new road. All right? I love you guys. I mean it. Ladies, I should say. I don't mean any harm. Guys, it's just easy to say. If you're into the content, please subscribe. Ring the little bell. It's all music, like original music, and some covers, live performances, comedy, vulnerability. I try to bring all of myself to this channel because I have something that I want to give, and that's it. Anyway, if you're into it, if it speaks to you, share it on your social. It's awesome. Okay, have the best Friday. It's the weekend.